I laughed at you, but now I'd snap your hand off to get that.
Stephen Glover, who lives in Stafford. Let's speak now to Nicola McKenzie, who's the co-founder of Dunham McCarthy Mortgages in Stafford. Good morning, Nicola.
Good morning. Hello.
What's it been like for you over the last few days?
Very hectic, to say the least. It is. Yeah, it's an ever-changing market. Lenders are, pulling products, pulling rates. But to be honest, that's been something that's been a challenge for us as brokers for probably the last 6 months, really. It's just that, of course, it's heightened in the last few days since the mini-budget on Friday. Very frantic. But, as brokers, we're just here to reassure our clients and do what we can to help them.
Have you seen anything like this before?
So, like I say, yes is the honest answer. Like I say, perhaps not quite to the extent of the last few days where you've now got high street lenders that are pulling out of the market. That's something that's unusual. But rates being pulled very, very quickly, that's a challenge we've been facing as brokers for the last 6 months. Again, rates have already doubled pretty much over the last 6 months. And it's just been an ongoing challenge that's worsened in the last few days.
Have you been going through someone's mortgage and then they've had that offer pulled?
So where an offer gets, if a client applies for a mortgage and it gets approved, if that does get withdrawn, which, yes, that has happened, but that would usually be as a result of a change in that person's circumstances. So, no, we've not seen an evidence of a lender pulling a mortgage offer once they've approved it just because.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Because we hear all these terms, especially over the last few days, and everyone's expected to be mortgage experts within about 3 days because we're hearing about interest rates. Do you know what I mean? So when we hear about, some programmes being suspended, you think to yourself, is that going to impact on people buying houses? But it sounds like if you've got your fixed offer, it's okay, effectively.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what concerns a lot of our clients have been calling us about over the last few days. They've brought a house, they've applied for the mortgage has been approved, they're now just waiting to complete. Will that affect them? No, it won't. If you've applied for your mortgage, it's been approved, then that offer is usually still on the table for at least the next 6 months. And the lenders are still adhering to that, at least up until now. And I don't see that changing.
There'll be some more, let's say, experienced members of the audience, some of the older members of the audience, Nicola, that might be saying, 6%? When we first bought our first house, it was 16%, it was X rate. What do you say about that? And have we just had it have we been spoilt, basically? Have we had it too easy for too long?
Yes, actually, I do feel that way. When you look at the history of the base rate, it's been at an all-time low, since 2009. And I feel like we've perhaps just got very used to that and accustomed to it. But that's not really the reality. Going back before that, the base rate has never been as low as it has been for the last 10 years. I think that the issue and the concern for a lot of people is the fact that it's rising so quickly. And of course, people have adjusted their lifestyle based on low interest rates. Yeah. So they're coming out of their deals. It's a case of how are they going to be able to adjust to it in such a quick, short space of time. So I completely the concern, but I do think we've got a little bit too comfortable with low rates, which obviously we're not going to be forever.
How worried are you for some people? Because there'll be a lot of people listening to this now that are on variable mortgages, that are on fixed terms that are coming to an end within the next 6 months, that might be panicking now. Are you? And obviously there'll be people that thinking when they bought the house, right, we'll probably go a little bit further than we would normally, but because we really want this house, we can make it work. Well, it's not the same terms as it was 5 years ago, is it?
No, absolutely. So I suppose the advice that I would give to people is just make sure that you are speaking to us, involve a broker. Don't just automatically go back to your bank assuming that they're going to get the best deals. I think right now more than ever, it's really important to shop around and make sure that you are definitely getting the best deal. But also, even if you're getting the best deal, you are probably likely to see your payments go up in a lot of cases. But there are still ways that we can help people in that situation. So, for example, we could consider extending the term of the mortgage, which could bring the payments down. Of course, that's not suitable for everybody, and that's going to depend on your anticipated retirement age and other factors. But these are all things and discussions that you should be having with somebody that's qualified to have those discussions to make sure that you are in the best possible position.
This is, I know, not the perfect question, because there'll be a lot of people, just finally, Nicola, thank you very much for your time today, but I know there'll be a lot of people listening to this that have spent the last 3 or 4 days worrying about what they're going to do about the mortgage. They've already got the cost of living crisis with energy, with food price rises. People have got a lot on their plate. And there'll be people now, I don't want to add to fuel to the fire to make people worry even more, but effectively, if people don't pay the mortgage because it goes up too much, they're going to default and the bank are going to take their house away. At some point, the government then, if we've got so many people that have got their deals coming to an end or variable mortgages coming to an end, the government is surely going to have to step in, aren't they? Because they can't let potentially thousands of people go homeless because they can't pay the mortgage. You would think?
You would think. I mean, I do think you're exactly right. You know, will we see a situation where thousands and millions of homeowners are out on the streets? I'm sure that there are ways that we're going to have to work around and prevent that from happening. And I don't think that that will be the case, but how that's going to pan out at this stage, I just think it's early days. And that's really the reason why a lot of the high street lenders have removed themselves in part from the market, so that they can see how best to price their products to make sure that it's not only affordable for their customers, but also sadly profitable for them. But I think it is concerning, but like you say, I think that there should hopefully be ways to work this out. And as far as your mortgage goes, just make sure that you are getting good advice.
Nicola, thank you very much for your time. I could talk to you about this all morning. I find it properly interesting, so I hope it's helped a few people.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. Thank you very much. That is Nicola Mackenzie, who's the co-founder of Dunham McCarthy Mortgages in Stafford, speaking to us live on BBC Radio Stoke this morning. If you are worried about this, how are you feeling? Tell me all about it. 0800 121 8080. It'll be a real conversations. It'll be real issues that are facing people in Staffordshire and Cheshire at the moment. Are you coming to an end of a fixed term mortgage? Which I know, I appreciate when you switch the radio on, you don't want people telling you about how bad things could potentially get. I get it. I completely get it. But it's going to be a big issue facing a lot of people over the next couple of months, next couple of years. If you are one of them and you want to talk about it, 0800 121 8080. I know whenever you switch the news on at the moment, it's either mortgage crisis or energy crisis. I get it, but it is affecting a lot of people. 0800 121 8080 if you want to talk about it, or to text 81333. Start your message with the word Stoke. Latest on the roads around Staffordshire and